So today I'm going to be reviewing the EG4LL server rack batteries that you see behind me here. I have these batteries connected to my Sol-Ark 15K all-in-one hybrid inverter that I use to run my whole house. So obviously the sun isn't out all the time. So when the sun goes down, my house runs off these batteries right here only. And these are 5 kilowatt hours each. Actually, I think it's 5.12 to be exact kilowatt hours, and I run on 6 of these batteries. That is a total of just over 30 kilowatt hours, and that helps me run all night on batteries, so I never have to go back and touch the electric grid, actually, which I do have as backup on my system. So these EG4LL batteries are rated to be used up to 7,000 cycles. That means you can use them all the way down to a 20% state of charge 7,000 times. So if you divide that by 365 days, let's say you drained them by one time a day, that would be a total of 19 years that these things are rated for. So I'm expecting these to last at least 15 years. In fact, there's a lot of professionals out there that say these are going to die from calendar aging before they actually die from being overused. So these EG4LL batteries also have an operating efficiency of 99%, which is as good as you're going to find. The one thing I like about these EG4LL batteries in comparison to their budget battery they also offer, EG4 offers, is these ones have an LCD screen that you can see here behind me. And that LCD screen is very useful. I can see the state of charge of each battery and make sure they're all staying exactly in balance, which I've never had an issue with balancing using the EG4LL batteries with the Sol-Ark 15K, but it is nice to have that information at my fingertips if I ever needed to. Each of these batteries also have a BMS, battery management system, for you novices out there. And the BMS technology is actually used to basically act as an oversight of these batteries for safety purposes. The BMS protects the batteries from operating outside at safe parameters. So we've all heard of these lithium battery fires that start randomly. So what this BMS, or the battery management system, does on these is it basically watches the heat, because the most common issue you have with these fires that you'll see from lithium batteries are from what we call thermal runaway. That means the batteries are charging to the point where once they are fully charged, they start to charge even more and more and more, and that's when you get the massive amount of heat, and that's when you see fires. So what this battery management system does is it makes sure once these batteries are topped off, it automatically can stop the charging or shut them down. These batteries also have dual fire arresters inside them, which I've never seen that in operation, but I guess what it can do is put out a fire that starts, which is pretty incredible. I have these inside my house, and I have no issue with it. I am not worried about the safety of it. So there's also no off-gassing as well. So if you have lead acid batteries, you do have some gassing that could be toxic. With these, you don't have that. And another big thing for me is the first solar system I built was just a backup system years and years and years ago. And I really didn't use that system at all because it was for a blackout. We never really had a blackout. And I just didn't even think about the system. And well, with lead acid batteries, as many of you probably know, you have to top off the water in those things. And I am terrible with maintenance. So I didn't do that. So within 3 years, those batteries had died. So that was a pretty sizable investment. I didn't top them off, and I lost that entire investment. And I still have that charge controller and the inverter just sitting in my shed outside that I'm not using right now. So the beautiful thing about these lithium batteries is there's no maintenance. I don't have to top them off with water. They just sit there and do their job, which is, for somebody who's, I don't call myself lazy, I'm just terrible with maintenance. So for somebody like me, that is perfect. And I'm happy to pay a little bit more for batteries that I can set it and forget it. So with these EG4LL batteries, you can parallel connect 64 of these for a total of 320 kilowatt hours. That's $100,000 worth of these batteries at retail price. So these batteries also have a 10-year warranty, which is one of the best you'll find in the industry. So here's what my experience has been so far with these batteries. Very easy to install. They each weigh 100 pounds, which is one of the reasons I went with these over the bigger type of batteries where you can get kind of an all-in-one system, is because I had to bring these up a flight of stairs, and carrying one of these batteries at a time at 100 pounds is a lot easier than hauling up 600, 700, 800 pounds worth of these things upstairs. Forget it. So I really liked how easy it was to plug and play and put these batteries in. I put this whole battery rack together in about, I'd say, an hour. They have a very small footprint as well, in my opinion, for these type of batteries. This rack is about 2 foot by 2 feet. So, and I think it's about, I'd say a little less than 4 feet. So it doesn't take up too much room. And what's nice about these is you can scale them up as you go. So I have one rack here, but I am going to get another rack at some point because I really need two of these racks to be comfortable. I would say to keep myself off grid 95% of the time. And the reason I say 95% of the time is because every solar system, you need some sort of backup power because there's going to be times where you have multiple day storms or 3, 4, 5 day storms, and you're going to need to charge these batteries. Solar just won't cut it, really, no matter how big your system is. But 95% of the time, I'll take that all day. And if you use these with the Sol-Ark 15K, there is two different terminal points basically on the Sol-Ark 15K, two positive, two negatives. They can handle up to 4-aught wire. And so it makes it really easy because I can take all these parallel two 4-aught cables right into my Sol-Ark 15K, and then I can put another server rack set of batteries in and run wires right into it as well. I don't have to put any external bus bar up on the wall back here like you'll see a lot of people's systems. And most people aren't going to need more than 60 kilowatt hours, which is two of these racks that you can support on the Sol-Ark 15K without adding bus bars and breakers and things like that. So it makes for a really easy install. So these batteries can charge up at 100 amps max capacity, and I have 6 of them, so technically I can throw 600 amps into these things. Now they do recommend that you charge these, or you charge them up between 30 and 50 amps, though it can handle 100 amps. So it's better off to set it probably down at 50. But even at 50, I mean, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 batteries here. So that's 1, 2, that's 300 amps I can charge at. And actually the Sol-Ark, I believe, maxes out at 275 amps to charge it. So that's plenty. So these EG4LL batteries also have selectable closed loop BMS communication with Growatt, Sol-Ark, Victron, Schneider, and Growatt. So all the main manufacturers of inverters this is going to communicate with without any issue. They're also certified with the UL 1973 and the UL 9540 standards, which is what you need to run these in a stable setting, off-grid or on-grid as backup. Now let's get into pricing on these things. Right now, I'm finding them, this is as of November 2023, for about between $1,600 and $1,650 each battery, $1,650 to $1,600 each battery. And I do have a discount code to get $100 off if you end up purchasing these. So take a look in the description. This video, I'll have a link to that and the discount code. And if you are interested in a system just like this for your house, I will have a link in the description of this video where you can click on a PDF and download a PDF that goes into my entire system, all the equipment I use, down to the wire, down to the conduit, I mean, everything. And it shows how the wiring is set, so you can get a really good idea how to put one of these systems together yourself. So make sure you click that link in the description, or just go to solarpdfdownload.com and you can get it there. All right, now let's get into load testing these things. So I've already went outside and turned off my solar panels. So you'll see here, solar panels are bringing in 0 kilowatts. It does show that my batteries are being used because my house is using 0.91 kilowatts. That's a little light bulb you see there. And my batteries are being discharged at that exact 0.91 kilowatts. And you'll see no power coming from the grid. So what I'm going to do now is completely disconnect my backup, which is the grid, just for these testing purposes. So you can see everything is off grid. So this is from my meter basically outside my house or out front. It goes into this disconnect here so I can shut it off. And then it runs from there into my Sol-Ark right here as my backup. And then from my Sol-Ark, it also goes down here into my main home panel. This is my main home 200 amp panel that runs my whole house, as you can see by all the breakers here. And the difference with this is there's no 50 amp breaker right here that feeds a sub panel on my wall right here. That's what a lot of systems you'll see out there on the market does. This with the Sol-Ark 15K, I can run the main lines from the Sol-Ark 15K, and then they drop into the main feeds here from the Sol-Ark. So now I'm feeding my entire panel off of the Sol-Ark 15K, which is awesome because now in the event of power outages, I can run any load I want inside my house without having to worry about only using the critical loads that are wired in out of that critical loads panel. So that's the difference in my system. So let's kill the grid to make sure we're not getting any assist on these loads from that. All right, we just shut the power off. And there we go. You see that yellow box light up around the little power pole there that shows that we are completely off grid now. So let's start turning on some loads. All right, so I've turned on my induction stove here on medium high, which is 375 degrees, and on the other burner I have it at high, which is 425 degrees. Not sure if you can see that. I'm also running my dishwasher. As you can see, with those running, I'm pulling 2.78 kilowatt hours. So, and I'm running a bunch of lights as well in my house and internet modem. There's also 7 refrigerators on that right now as well. All right, let's turn on the air conditioner now. I'm gonna do my whole house AC, and let's see if these batteries can start it up. All right, so it's 70 degrees in my house right now. All right, I heard it start up. So that is awesome. It started my 4-ton air conditioning unit, which is just, guys, that's incredible for a battery bank to be able to do. Solar equipment is really coming into its own here with this technology. And here's some of the rating of the specs. All right, so with the air conditioner running, the forced air unit, my house is pulling 5.68 kilowatts. And the max this inverter can do is 12,000 watts off grid like I am right now. So we're about halfway there. All right, let's go start something else. All right, let's start a toaster oven here. 350 degrees. Now we're pulling 7.14 kilowatts. Again, these batteries are handling it flawlessly. All right, let's start my all-in-one washer dryer. I'll put it in the dry mode here. Turn off wash mode. So we're in dry mode. We'll put it on more dry, and we'll turn that on and see what happens. All right, it's running. All right, now we're running 7 kilowatts, which isn't really that much. That washer dryer combo is a very efficient washer and dryer, so it doesn't use that much to wash or dry clothes. Let's see what else we can turn on. All right, let's add a 1500 watt space heater to it on the highest setting. Now we're running air conditioning and the heater at the same time. That makes sense, but hey, let's try it. All right, it's running. All right, we're at just about 9 kilowatts, 8.64. My water heater is a heat pump water heater, so it's efficient too, and it's already 140 degrees, so I can't crank that up any higher. All right, let's try adding a 24,000 BTU mini split air conditioner. Let's put it into cool mode. There we go. Crank this down to 65 degrees. Now we should be starting to get to near our max the inverter can put out. Well, we're approaching 10 kilowatts now, which we're about 2 kilowatts or so away from our max this inverter can do. And we're going up higher now. God, these batteries are handling it without any problem at all. There's no flicker in the lights, nothing. So, guys, I'd say this thing passed the test flawlessly. Well, so as you can see, these batteries passed the test, flawlessly. Now, time will tell if they're going to last as long as they say they will. Never had an issue with them at all. This is the heaviest I've ever load tested them by themselves, because at night, I'm not going to run that much power. I want to make these things last as long as possible and discharge them as little as I can at night, so I'm never going to run that much. So this is the first time I've ever done that, and the first time I've ever tried to start my air conditioner with the batteries only, because I'm not going to run the air conditioner unless the sun is out and it's hot, so at least the full one. Now, I really don't even use that traditional air conditioner anymore. I just use my mini split just to save energy, but it's nice to know it's there if I ever really want to nuke my house and make it really cold, run all the mini splits and my 4-ton traditional air conditioner. This Sol-Ark 15K and this EG4LL battery bank can handle it perfectly. I can't recommend these batteries enough. I've been very impressed with them. So check out the link in the description if you're interested in purchasing these things. If you use that link, it does help me out, so I would appreciate that. And make sure you like this video and subscribe, because the algorithms it does help me if you do that. So I would really appreciate if this video helped you out. Do you do that? Anyways, that's it for now. See you in the next video.